How do we teach sharing in the youngest of children that go from parallel play, just alongside playing alongside siblings or peers, to interactive? But they don't have the language yet. They might be a year old and they're really intrigued by the toy that my sibling has or my friend has. And I don't know how to say that yet because I don't have the language, but I just know I want it. And I want to be interactive with them. They look really cool, and so does the toy. So we have to teach it in turn taking, because sharing is actually an acquired skill that kind of goes down the line a little bit developmentally. But we have to help them understand what turn taking looks like. And so you can do that as a parent or a caregiver and pull in the peer a little bit later. And you just start with a really preferred toy and you might give it to them first and you go, okay, your turn. And you start a timer for about 2 minutes and they get to play with that puzzle, blocks, whatever it is. And you just articulate how fun that looks. And so you're displaying the patience and the contentment and waiting your turn. Oh, wow, that looks so fun. Oh, that's just where that piece goes. Ooh, and that's a red one. I like the red one. And you just sit there and comment on it. Oh, that's so fun. Timer goes off and you go, oh, my turn, switch. Switch is a really good word because it means we're gonna just switch either what we're doing or the toys. So you can put this into 2 toys if you have 2 toddlers like this, or you can just keep going back and forth with one. And then you start the timer again. And you start it for 2 minutes, 1 minute, and you get your turn as the adult. And you articulate, they'll say, oh, this is so fun to have it now. I love this red block. I get to put this here. Oh, this is so fun. You're teaching your child to wait patiently for their time. Your timer goes off, you go, oh, switch, and you give them back the toy. They get to play with it again. And this can go back and forth for quite some time until they really get that turn taking. They'll fatigue if they're young, and they might just crawl away and go get a different toy. And that's great. You can do it again at another time. Then you can start when they're ready and they understand the concept, bring in maybe a same age peer or a young sibling that they can learn from. Because usually they'll go over, they'll crawl, they'll be an early walker, and they'll go over and they'll just take it because they really think this sibling's cool and what they're playing with. So that's the interaction they're desiring. It may be the toy and it may not, but we still assume that, oh, they took it and they need to know how to take turns. We go, oh, would you like that toy? Well, let's give your brother another minute. And we just put the timer on. Let's wait, let's let him finish. So then the toddler's waiting, learning how to wait. The timer goes off. Oh, time to, switch. The older one gives it to him. And now the older one's gonna understand that they're learning this and that this is part of their learning so that this can go better in the future and not just have conflict. And then they can watch them. They can play with something different. The older one can. But those 2 minutes are going on and they're playing with that toy. When the timer goes off, oh, switch back to your brother. Now they can also have a different toy at this time, but the timer still goes. What you're doing here is you're setting a foundation for alternating and sharing later on, that big word sharing then makes sense when we're learning turn taking. They will expire pretty quickly and they'll probably just run off and get their own thing. But that set the foundation for understanding that process later. Say the next day they go after their brother or sister's item again. And instead of, no, don't take that. They get to say, that older sibling or you as a parent get to say, oh, do we need to take turns? And then they'll probably sit back, say, oh, let me get my timer and we can take turns. The older one might get a little exhausted because of the 2 minute thing, but that's okay. You can help them understand the way that they're serving the younger sibling and that this is just teaching them and it won't be long until they'll understand it.